Good day, everyone. So we will now continue our lesson in finding the derivative of transcendental functions. So last time, we have already studied about the derivative of the polynomial function and some of the transcendental functions. So including yung logarithmic and exponential function. So now we will focus more on the trigonometric functions. So for our learning competencies, the learners apply the differentiation rules in computing the derivative of an algebraic, exponential, logarithmic, trigonometric functions, inverse trigonometric function. So as I have said, so focus muna tayo sa trigonometric functions. Okay, all right. So let us have a recall on our differentiation rules, including the chain rule. So we will be using the chain rule in finding the derivative also of the trigonometric function. So let us have the task 1, find the derivative of each function. For number 1, y is equal to 5x squared minus 1 multiplied to 4x cubed. Okay. So as we can see here, we have two expressions multiply with each other. Okay, so si 5x squared minus 1 tapos si 4x cubed. So we will be using the product rule. Okay. So for the product rules, the formula will be UdV plus VdU. So anong meaning nito? Okay, yung U for example is yung unang expression and then the next one will be V. Okay, so sabi dito, product rule, just copy the U first. Okay, the first expression, 5x squared minus 1. Then i-multiply sa derivative ng pangalawa, which is, okay, derivative ni 4x cubed is, yan, bababa yung 3, mamumultiply dun sa coefficient na 4. Okay, that will be 12. And then x, 3 minus 1 will be 2. Okay, so, and then next, yung VDU naman, just copy 4x cubed, multiply to the derivative naman ni 5x squared minus 1. So, 5x squared minus 1, derivative niya ay 10x. Okay, so just simplify the expression. Okay, just distribute this. Okay, we have 60x to the fourth minus 12x squared plus 40x to the fourth. And then further simplifying, we have 100x to the fourth minus 12x squared. So don't forget that this is y prime. Okay, y prime is equal to 100x to the fourth minus 12x squared. And that will be our final answer for number 1. Number 2, we have y is equal to 4x to the fourth. Okay, so pwedeng gamitin quotient rule since we have the numerator and denominator, but we can rewrite this as y is equal to 4x raised to negative 4. Okay, so nung itinaas natin itong x raised to 4, okay, magkakaroon lang siya ng negative sign. Okay, dahil nilipat natin sa numerator. Okay, so for y prime, we have the coefficient tapos may kasama siyang x and naka-raise sa exponent, we can use the power rule lang po. Okay? So for So, negative 4 multiply sa 4. So, bababa sa exponent. 4 times negative 4. X raised to negative 5 minus 1. That will be equal to negative 16. X raised to, sorry, this is negative 4. Negative 4 minus 1. That will be negative 5. Okay? Thus, our final answer will be negative 16. Okay? Pag binaba na ulit natin si x raised to negative 5, magiging positive na. Okay? Negative 16 over x to the 5th. That will be our final answer. Next, we have y is equal to square root of 4 minus 3x squared. So, 4 minus 3x square root of 4 minus 3x squared. Pwede natin siyang i-rewrite. Okay? Pag square root, di ba, fraction ang exponent niya. Okay? For example, we have square root of x. Pwede rin siyang i-rewrite as x raised to 1/2. Pag cube root of x raised to 1/3. So, that's how we rewrite a root, okay, into its exponent. Okay. So 4 minus 3x squared. So magiging, we will rewrite our function as y is equal to 4 minus 3x squared. Tapos naka-raise siyang buo kay 1/2. Alright, so we will now use the power rule. And also the chain rule. Okay? So since itong buong expression na 4 minus 3x squared naka-raise sa exponent, okay? Tapos yung function na nasa loob is meron pa siyang derivative. So pag multiply natin silang dalawa. Okay? So that is the chain rule. So y prime is equal to, okay? So parang nagpa-power rule lang tayo. Okay? So for example, we have x raised to 1/2, di ba? Okay? So ang derivative nito is 1/2 x raised to 1/2 minus 1 is negative 1/2. Okay? So here we have 4 minus 3x squared. Bababa si exponent 1/2 multiply to 4 minus 3x squared. Plus 1/2 minus 1. Okay? Hindi pa po tapos. Since this is chain rule, i-multiply sa derivative ng nasa loob. Okay? Derivative ng nasa loob is 0 minus, okay, 2 bababa, magiging 3 times 2, x raised to 2 minus 1. Okay? So our y prime will be 1/2 times 4 minus 3x squared raised to negative 1/2 multiply to negative 6x. Okay? So further simplifying, our y prime will be equal to 1 or negative 6x all over 2 times the square root of 4 minus 3x squared. Okay, pwedeng cancel out si 2, magiging negative 3x all over square root of 4 minus 3x squared. That will be our final answer for number 3. Okay, number 4, we have the y is equal to ln or natural logarithm of 3x squared. So, paano ba pag may ln tayo? Okay, so pag ln, simply y is equal to, okay, parang bababa lang yung yung kasama ni ln. So, 1 over 3x squared. Okay, so but since we are on the chain rule, okay, itong kasama ni ln ay meron pang derivative. So, ang derivative niyan ay 6x. Okay? So, our y prime will be 6x all over 3x squared. So, further simplifying, cancel out. So, magkakaroon tayo ng 2 all over x. Okay? And that will be our final answer. So, huwag kakalimutan, chain rule. So, napakahalaga po niyan, diba? dy over dx is equal to dy over du multiplied to du over dx. Okay, ang ibig sabihin lang nito ay hinahanap natin yung derivative na nung as a whole. Okay, so namang du over dx is derivative nung nasa loob or yung inner part. Okay. For number 5, we have y is equal to the logarithm of 5x with the base 5. Okay, may base na tayo, hindi na siya natural logarithm. So, kapag naghahanap tayo ng derivative ng logarithm with the base a, okay, of u, yan, general lang. Okay, so we have parang sa natural logarithm lang, pero magkakaroon ng 1 over the ln of the base. Okay, multiply to copy na 1 over x. Okay, so here we have logarithm of 5x with the base 5. So y prime will be equal to, okay, 1 over ln of 5 multiply to the derivative na nung logarithm. Parang nagde-derive tayo ng as ln. So we have bababa si 5x. 1 over 5x. Oops. Tapos na ba? So hindi pa po tapos dahil may derivative pa yung kasama ni logarithm which is 5. Okay. So y prime will be equal to 5 all over 5x ln of 5. So pwedeng makancel si 5. Get 1 over x ln of 5. Okay. So, and that will be our final answer. So let's move on to number 6. We have y is equal to e raised to dx squared. So we have an exponential function. Kapag nagkakaroon tayo ng exponential function and kinukuha yung derivative, we will just copy the function and then the derivative nung exponent. Okay? So we have y prime is equal to e raised to x squared. Yan, kinapi lang natin. But since si x squared ay meron pang derivative, so we will be multiplying that. So times derivative ni x squared is 2x. Okay? And that's it. That's how we derive an exponential function. So rewrite lang 2x times e raised to x squared. Okay? That will be our final answer. So next, y is equal to 10 raised to 5x minus 2. So y prime, okay, kanina yung e raised to x squared, yung e ang naka-raise sa exponent. Ngayon naman meron tayong base which is 10. So magkakaroon lang, madadagdagan lang yung ating, parang nagde-derive lang tayo na exponential function, okay, with a base e, pero madadagdagan lang ng logarithm of the base. Okay, so let's see. So y prime is equal to, first write the logarithm of 10 times, okay, copy 10 raised to 5x minus 2. The exponent, okay, meron pang derivative. So, 5x minus 2, ang derivative niya ay 5. So, y prime is equal to 5 log of 10 times 10 raised to 5x minus 2. Okay? So, that will be our final answer. Number 8, we have y is equal to sine x. Okay, so nakapunta na tayo sa trigonometric functions. So, for 8, 9, 10, puro trigonometric functions yan. And we will be studying how to derive those trigonometric functions, okay, in our next slides. Okay, here are the answers you want to try for 1 to 7. All right. So now we will move on to the derivative of trigonometric functions. So paano ba nagde-derive? Okay. So the derivatives of trigonometric functions. So dapat sa ulo nyo, so derivative of sine x with respect to x is cosine x. So as is po yan. Pag tinanong derivative ni sine x, cosine x. Derivative ni cosine x, negative sine x. Derivative ni tangent x, secant squared of x. Derivative ni cosecant, negative cosecant cotangent x. Derivative ni secant x is secant x tangent x. Okay. Derivative ni cotangent x is negative cosecant squared of x. So, ayan. We can see, parang may pattern lang, di ba? Si cosecant and secant, tatandaan nyo, okay, dalawang trigonometric function siya, ang derivative niya. Tapos, si tangent tsaka si cotangent, naka-square. Okay? Tapos, si sine tsaka cosine, nagpapalitan lang yan. But derivative ni cosine ay negative. Okay? So, here is the original rule. Okay? Kapag x lang yung given. But what if, okay, we have sine of, okay, derivative ni sine of 3x minus 1. Okay? So, since hindi na basta x lang yung ating kasama ni sine, okay, meron na siyang derivative. So, the derivative will be, okay, sabi dito, cosine x. So, cosine ng 3x minus 1. But since may derivative pa yung nasa loob, sabi dito, sine of u is equal to cosine of u, then the derivative of u with respect to x. Derivative nitong 3x minus 1 with respect to x. So, mamumultiply siya dyan. So, that will be times derivative of 3x minus 1 is 3. Okay? So, rewrite lang. That will be 3 cosine of 3x minus 1. Okay? So, sine of u is, derivative sine u is equal to cosine u times du over dx. Derivative of cosine u is negative sine u du over dx. Tangent u is equal to secant squared u du over dx, so on and so forth. So let's have the previous examples. Yung number 8, y is equal to sine x. So sine x lang po yan, kasama niya. Okay. Sabi, balikan lang natin. Derivative daw ni sine x is cosine x. Okay. Ayan, y prime is equal to cosine of x. So we have here y is equal to tangent of 4x squared minus 3. So ang derivative ni tangent ay secant squared, okay, of x. Okay, but hindi lang x yung kasama ni tangent. So we have to multiply it to the derivative of the 4x squared minus 3. So y prime will be equal to the secant squared of 4x squared minus 3. Mamumultiply pa siya sa derivative nung nasa loob. So 4x squared minus 3, the derivative is 8x. Okay, rewrite. Lalagay ko lang sa unahan. 8x secant squared of 4x squared minus 3. Okay, that's basically it. Okay, that's the final answer. So for our cosecant x cube, we have derivative ng cosecant ay iyan yung dalawa, di ba? Cosecant x cotangent x. Okay? So the y prime will be equal to negative cosecant of x cube cotangent of x cube. Okay? Kung ano yung nasa loob, yun din yung kasama ng ating mga trigonometric functions. And then multiply to 3x squared. So saan nanggaling? That is the derivative of the inside function. So that is how we derive the some of the trigonometric functions. Okay, so we will now move on to our second part. Okay, second part of this lesson, which is the implicit differentiation. For our learning competencies, we have the learners illustrate implicit differentiation. And here are our learning objectives. First, we will differentiate between explicit and implicit functions, determine when to use implicit differentiation, apply implicit differentiation in finding derivatives, and also we will be appreciating the importance of implicit differentiation by applying it to the real-life problems. Let us have first our task 3. Okay. So, solve for y in terms of x. So, ang ibig sabihin ay i-isolate natin on si y on one side and put all other variables and constants on the other side. Ayan, ihiwalay natin si x, pati si y. Okay. So, for number 1, we have 2x plus y is equal to 8. So, kailangan ihiwalay natin yung may variable na x, tapos pati si y. Okay? Retain natin si y dyan sa side na yan. Lipat natin si 2x dito sa kabilang side para mahiwalay natin si y. So, that will become y is equal to 8 minus 2x. Okay? So, that's it. Okay? Di ba karaniwan kapag nagde-derive tayo ng function, laging nakahiwalay si y dito sa left side. So, si y is also the f of x. The function of x equal to 8 minus 2x. Okay? So, number 2, we have xy is equal to x minus y. So, iwalay natin. Paano natin ihiwalay si y kay x? Okay? Lipat muna natin lahat ng may y sa one side na equation. So, lipat ko si y dito. So, negative y magiging positive y. Xy plus y is equal to x. Okay? So, lahat ng may y dito sa left, lahat ng may x lang dito sa right. Okay? Factor out ko si y since may y parehas ng terms. So, y factoring out. Tapos sa loob ng parenthesis will be x plus 1 is equal to x. Okay. So, nahiwalay ko na si y. Okay. I will just have to divide both sides by x plus 1 para wala nang kasama si y. Okay, so y is equal to x all over x plus 1. And that's how we isolate y from other variables and constants. So number 3, we have x squared plus y squared is equal to 25. We isolate ulit si y. Iwan natin si y squared dyan sa side na yan. So, y squared will be equal to, lipat si x squared sa kabilang side, magiging 25 minus x squared. Okay? Square root ko both sides para ma-cancel out yung exponent ni y. So, ang matitira ay si y. Tapos, equal to the square root of 25 minus x squared. Okay? Yan. So, y na lang yung nasa other side na equation. So, number 4, we have 1 over x plus 1 over y is equal to 1. Okay. So, mas nagiging komplikado na yung ating mga equation. So here, kailangan muna nating hanapin yung LCD. Okay? Pagsamahin si x and si y. Okay? Para pagsama natin siya sa isang term. So, xy ang LCD. Okay, so xy divided by x is y times 1 is y. Plus xy divide y is x times y is x. That will be equal to 1. Okay? So, by associative property, pwedeng pagbalik na rin si xy. Okay? Tapos si xy, okay, multiply natin both sides sa xy. Okay? So, maka-cancel out si xy here. So, x plus y na lang natira. And then, that will be equal to xy. Okay? Again, isolate natin yung lahat ng mga may y sa terms. So, y, lipat ko dito. Y minus xy is equal to negative x. Okay? So, factor out ko si y, magiging 1 minus x equal negative x. Okay? So, y will be equal to negative x all over 1 minus x. Okay, so para matanggal ng lahat ng negative, multiplyan natin ng negative, both numerator and denominator. So that will become, okay, natin negative. So magiging x all over x minus 1. Okay, but this is also synonymous with the previous function na nakuha natin. So our final answer will be y is equal to x over x minus 1. All right, so number 5 for our final item, x squared plus y squared is equal to x plus y. So try natin kung mahihiwalay pa natin si x and si y. So x squared plus y squared is equal to x plus y. Lahat ng x, pagsamahin natin. Lahat ng y, pagsamahin. So lipat natin si y sa kabila. So y squared minus y is equal to, tas si x squared sa kabila rin, sa right side, x minus x squared. Okay. Paghiwalay na natin. So try natin factor out. Okay, si y, may makuha kaya tayong sagot? So y minus 1 is equal to x minus x squared. Okay, so as we can see here, medyo complicated ang pag-separate or isolate kay y. on one side of the equation only. Okay, so here are the answers. Okay, si 1, 2, 3, 4 na-isolate natin ng maayos. Okay, si y ay nasa one side lang ng equation. Pag hinanap yung derivative for each of these functions, okay, galing lang siya dito sa mga equations na to, okay, madali nating mahahanap. And that is what we call explicit function. So explicit meaning direct lang siya. So direct, okay. So parang nagde-derive lang tayo using the madali lang natin siya madederive using differentiation rules since nakahiwalay na agad si y. But here, how about yung number 5 pag hinanap yung derivative ng equation na yan? So paano kaya natin hahanapin? So that is what we will be tackling for today. All right, so the explicit versus the implicit functions. Okay. So kanina nabanggit ko na yung explicit function. So an explicit function is one which is given in terms of the independent variable in the form y is equal to f of x such as y is equal to 2x minus 6. Ayan. Pag explicit function daw, nakahiwalay na si y, tapos magkakasama yung same variable sa other side ng equation. So you have taken the derivatives of the function of this form in our previous lesson. So on the other hand, an implicit function is usually given in terms of both dependent and independent variables, just like the ones given on the learning task 3. So as you may also have observed from learning task 3, not all functions can be expressed in explicit form. Okay. So kagaya nung number 5, that is an implicit function since hindi natin siya kayang i-transform into an explicit form. Okay, so hindi natin ma-isolate si y. Okay, so an implicit differentiation naman, the other hand, ayan. So here sa picture, meron tayong explicit and implicit in differentiation nila. So, explicit, ibig sabihin, that is clear and direct. Okay? Here's the example. If you don't give me a pay rise, I leave. So that's explicit. Okay? Direct, no? Pag hindi daw tinaasan yung sahod, ay aalis siya. So very direct. Pag implicit naman, that is implied. Okay? If you don't show more appreciation, I'll review my options. Okay, so medyo vague, no? Hindi understood naman natin na halos the same lang yung kanilang sinasabi. But since implicit nga, hindi siya implied, hindi rin siya direct. Okay? So that is the difference between explicit and implicit. So implicit differentiation is a technique based on chain rule that helps us find the derivative of y with respect to x without solving the given equation for y. So this is a technique without us having to transform into explicit form. So hindi na natin kailangan ihiwalay si x at saka si y. So this is especially helpful if it is difficult or impossible to transform. Ayan. So helpful daw siya if impossible to transform an implicit equation to an explicit one. Okay. So let's have the following reminders before we explore the process of the implicit differentiation. So paano ba tayo nagde-derive using this implicit differentiation? All right. So first we have in implicit differentiation, it is assumed that y is a differentiable function of x. Hence, the derivative of y is dy over dx. Ayan, so other way of writing y prime, di ba? Dy over dx. So, we have y prime, tapos pwede rin siyang dy over dx. Okay? So, pag nagde-derive tayo, pwedeng dy over dx is equal to 2x minus 1. For example, yan yung derivative na ating function. Okay? So, next, a function y is defined implicitly. So, the chain rule is applied in getting its derivative. That is, if we have expression f of y, where y is a function of x, then, so the derivative of f of y with respect to x is still the derivative, parang nagde-derive tayo ng function with respect to x. Okay? So, but magkakaroon na siya ng dy over dx. Okay? So, for example, we have, okay, so 2y. So, hanapin natin yung derivative niyan with respect to x. So, derivative of 2y with respect to x is, parang nagde-derive tayo ng 2x. So, ang derivative ng 2x ay 2, di ba? So, mahiwalay lang yung ating coefficient. Tapos, dito naman sa 2y, still 2. Okay? The derivative is 2. Okay? But since y yan and we are deriving with respect to x, so magkakaroon siya ng dy over dx na kasama. Hindi kagaya dito sa 2x, it is just 2 since parehas yung variable. We are deriving with respect to x. Okay? So the derivative of 2y is 2 multiplied to the dy over dx. So that's how we use, or that's how we differentiate f of y. So thus, following this rule, the derivative of, ayan, mayroon pa tayong other example dito. We have y cube. So y cube, okay, parang x cube lang din. So ang ano niyan ay 3x squared, di ba? Since dito, y ang ginamit niya, so y cube, okay, ang derivative ay 3y squared. But imumultiply siya sa dy over dx since again, we are deriving with respect to the dependent variable x. Okay, so dy over dx. Itong buong yan yung derivative ni y cube. Okay? So the rules studied in previous lesson still apply. A constant rule, power rule, constant multiples rule, sum rule, product rule, quotient rule, and chain rule. So para lang tayo nagde-derive with respect to x. Okay, ang nadagdag lang is yung dy over dx. Yan. So pag y yung ating variable, lagi lang may kasama yung derivative na dy over dx. So next, lastly, derivatives obtained through implicit differentiation contain both x and y, the dependent and independent variables. Okay? So, kung yun sa explicit function natin, pangkaraniwan, okay, for example, y is equal to x cubed, okay, dy over dx, yung differential derivative nitong function na to is 3x squared. So, pangkaraniwan, x lang din yung variable sa right side na equation nung kinuha natin yung derivative ng ating function. So, sabi dito, sa implicit differentiation naman, ang derivative can contain both at x and y. So, mamaya makikita natin sa example. Okay, so let's try some examples. So for example, number 1, we have x squared plus y squared is equal to 25. So find dy over dx. Okay, so pwede nating i-transform. So, as kagaya ng ginawa natin kanina, na-transform natin into explicit form. Okay? So, but since we have already studied about the implicit differentiation, so we will be using it. So, dy over dx, no need to transform into explicit form. As is yan, magdaderive tayo. Okay. So, dy over dx. Okay, so isa-isa yan per term ay kukuhanin natin yung derivative. Okay, so first term, x squared. So ano bang derivative ni x squared? So that is 2x. Okay, 2x lang. Since x naman yung variable. Plus, si y squared, anong derivative? That is 2y. Oops, y yung variable, we are deriving with respect to x, dy over dx. So, magkakaroon siya ng dy over dx is equal to, derivative ng constant, 25 is 0. Okay? So, nagkaroon na tayo ng dy over dx sa ating equation. We just have to separate that into one side. So, dy over dx. So, lipat natin si 2x other side. 2y dy over dx is equal to negative 2x. So, dy over dx will be equal to, okay, divide both sides by 2y. So, negative 2x over 2y. Cancel out si 2. So, dy over dx will be negative x over y. And that's basically it, the derivative of this example using the implicit differentiation. Okay? So, ayan, yung sinasabi kanina, derivatives obtained through implicit differentiation contain both x and y. Ayan, yung derivative niya, dy over dx, merong both x and y na variable. Okay? So, number 2, we have 7y squared plus sine of 5x is equal to 4x. Okay. So we will have to differentiate this. No need to transform into one variable. So 7y squared plus sine of 5x equal to 4x. Isa-isa per term. So the derivative ni 7y squared is, okay, so 7 times 2y. Okay, since y yan, dy over dx. Plus, anong derivative ni sine of 5x? That is the cosine of 5x. So, kailangan mamultiply pa siya sa 5 based on the chain rule since may derivative pa yung nasa loob. Is equal to 4x. Derivative ni 4x is 4. Okay? So, simplify. We have 14y dy over dx plus 5 cosine of 5x is equal to 4. Okay? Separate si dy over dx. So, 14y dy over dx is equal to 4 minus 5 cosine of 5x. Okay? So, finally, dy over dx is equal to 4 minus 5 cosine of 5x all over 14y. And that will be our final answer. Okay, for our third example, ayan. So, no need again to transform into explicit form. We have xy is equal to x minus y. Okay? So, xy, derivative niyan, okay? Si x tsaka si y ay pinagsama. So, product rule. So, x derivative ni y times y derivative ni x. Okay? So, isahin natin. Derivative ni xy with respect to x is, okay, copy yung una, x. Okay? Derivative ni y is dy over dx. So, 1 dy over dx. Since again, y yung variable na yan, and when we get the derivative of y with respect to x, laging may kasamang dy over dx. Plus, just copy the y, and then the derivative of x is just 1. Okay? So that is for xy only. Okay? So derivative naman ni x is 1 and minus dy over dx. So x dy over dx plus y is equal to, okay, 1 minus derivative ni y with respect to x is dy over dx. Ipagsamahin natin sa both sides yung dy over dx, x dy over dx plus dy over dx. So nilipat ko po itong negative dy over dx sa one side, then 1 minus y. Okay? Factor out dy over dx, we have x plus 1 is equal to 1 minus y. Okay? Finally, dy over dx is equal to 1 minus y over x plus 1. So dividing both sides by x plus 1. Finally, we have derivative of 4 tangent of 2x plus y squared is equal to 1. So again, implicit differentiation as is tayo magde-derive. Derivative ng 4 tangent of 2x is, okay, derivative ng tangent x, just copy the coefficient 4 multiply 2. Derivative ni tangent is secant squared, di ba? Okay. Secant squared of 2x multiply to derivative ng 2x yung nasa loob. So that will be 2. Plus, derivative ni y squared is 2y. dy over dx. Since y yung variable na dinederive is equal to 0. So simplify, we have 4 times 2 is 8. Secant squared of 2x plus 2y dy over dx is equal to 0. Okay? Lipat natin yung walang dy over dx sa kabilang side. We have 2y dy over dx is equal to negative 8 secant squared of 2x. Then finally, we isolate dy over dx. We get negative 8 secant squared of 2x all over 2y. And that will be our final answer. Right. So for our example number 5, so we will apply now into problem solving. So find the slope of the line tangent to the curve 4x to the fourth plus y to the fourth is equal to 20 at the point 1, 2. So kung matatandaan natin sa ating week 4, which is the derivative of the function, so the slope of the tangent line is equal to the, okay, derivative of y with respect to x at some given point at x is equal to c. Okay, so we just have to find dy over dx and substitute the given point. Okay, this is x and this is y. Okay, so we have a given equation here. Okay, again, ang slope ng tangent line is also the derivative of y with respect to x. Ayan, so recall that the slope of the tangent line at a given point on the curve is equal to the value of the derivative at the given point. So this is the graph of the equation 4x to the fourth plus y to the fourth is equal to 20. Okay. So yung parang pa-rectangle yung graph ng ating equation or function. So this is 0.12. So andito yung 0.12 sa ating graph. Okay. And the tangent line is the blue line. Okay, so yun po yung tangent line. So, ang pinapahanap sa atin ay yung slope ng tangent line na yan. Okay, so pag pinahanap din sa atin yung equation ng line na yan, so madali na nating makakuha using the point slope form y minus y sub 1. Given tayo ng y sub 1 and y sub 2 is equal to m times x minus x sub 1. So, the point slope form. Okay, so but since ang pinapahanap lang ay yung slope, so focus muna tayo doon. So slope of the tangent line will be the dy over dx. Okay, so differentiating the given equation using implicit differentiation. Okay, so let us derive per term 4x to the fourth. Ang derivative niyan ay 16x cubed. Okay, 4 times 4 is 16. X raised to 4 minus 1 is 3. Plus, again, okay, ayan, y to the fourth is, derivative of y to the fourth is 4y cubed dy over dx is equal to, derivative ng constant 20 is 0. Okay, isolate lang natin si dy over dx. So we have dy over dx is equal to negative 16x cubed all over 4. Okay, so isa-isa muna. So we have si 4y cubed dy over dx is equal to negative 16x cubed. Then divide both sides by 4y cubed. We have dy over dx equal to negative 16x cubed over 4y cubed. Further simplifying, we have dy over dx is equal to negative 4x. Okay. 16 divided 4 is 4. 4x cubed y cubed. And that will be the answer for dy over dx. Okay. So thus, the slope of the tangent line at any point is given by, ayan, so ang slope ng tangent line at any given point is equal to the negative 4x cubed over y cubed. Okay? So that is kapag hindi given yung point. Okay, so but since we have a tangent line at 1, 2, okay, given yung ating x and y, so we will have to substitute x and y sa ating nahanap na derivative. Okay? Ayan. So the slope at point 1, 2 is equal to m. Okay, that is also the dy over dx, di ba? Is equal to negative 4 times 1 cube. Saan nakuha yung 1? That is the given point. Sa nakuha si 2, that is also the given point, the abscissa, and the ordinate. A over 2 cube, simplify, that is equal to negative 1 half. And that is our final answer. So the slope at point 1, 2 is negative 1 half. Okay? All right. So that's it for today's lesson. Yan. Thank you for listening. Okay. Again, as a recall, so napag-aralan natin kung paano humanap ng derivative ng trigonometric function, and also we have studied about the implicit differentiation.